All right, let's do this with, I was going to say without further ado, but it's really without any ado. I have done another apartment, the interior details for another apartment. So previously, you already saw this one over here. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a look at detail on this side. Might as well start from the back because it's closest to us. With the bedroom, this was, like I mentioned in advance, a smaller space. So it was a lot more challenging to fit in all the things that I wanted. Just has a smaller bed. It's 3 studs wide. A little bit of detail up against the wall with a little bit of furniture and some decoration detail there. I figured since this is an apartment building as opposed to a condo complex, I figured that a lot of the fixtures and appliances and such would be the same, would be shared, you know, from one to the next, from one apartment to the next, at least on a given level. You know, this is kind of the most luxurious level. So I tried to use as many of the same builds as reasonably possible. It's going to be very difficult to get you around to see some of these. A lot of the detail. That's one of the unfortunate things about doing a lot of small details inside of buildings, is that most people are just never going to see it. Even now that I'm trying to showcase this stuff. But basically, the bathroom has been done mostly the same as the previous one, with the exception of the sink area, with the upside down 1x2 brick used for the sink basin to fit it up against the edge there. It's actually built into one of the side pylons. The shower area is done the same as the other one. It's just a little bit smaller. It's 1 stud smaller in each direction, and I had to put a 2x4 tile up against the wall. I think I can get around here a little bit more. Yeah, up against the wall just to protect some of the white background, so you see black all inside of there. Again, you just can't really see it all that well. Moving over to the kitchen, that is definitely done very similar with the cabinets, furniture, and appliances, all the appliances for this one to the previous apartment. The layout is just a little bit different. This one has a small island with a couple of, this is like a little breakfast bar, so small island with a couple of stools there. Not sure if that's an interesting technique to use the mini pig little extension at the end of a sausage piece to go into the relatively new modified 1x1 round just stud piece, open stud piece to fit something to look like a lamp over an African violet plant there. Is what that's supposed to represent. Slightly different build for the sofa there. Don't really like it from this angle. I like it from the other angle better, and the lighting where I was building this, but I don't really like it now. It's a little bit chunky around the sides. I might have to change that. Slightly different setup for a smaller coffee table there. Once again, TV up against a wall. And I wanted this to be a person who had a fairly active lifestyle. Let me see if I can get you around there. This is really requiring me to reach, my arm all the way across. I'm leaning up against the table. I hope I don't break anything, but hopefully you can see just a little bit from some different angles. This person has a couple of bicycles up on the wall as soon as they come in the door, so it's an active person who does a lot of cycling and other outdoor stuff. Kind of likes nature and the outdoors in general, and does a lot of writing, and has brighter colors in the place in general than the other one did. Just a matter of personal style. It doesn't require changing colors of walls or anything, or moving walls around to kind of put your own personal spin on a place. So I think that worked out okay. And in the corner closest to you is a small round table with a helmet on it, the biker's helmet. So that's how that worked out. Sorry I can't really get you in there all that well. I might have to try doing a GoPro setup or something on a pole so I can get you some better views of these. Of course, I can also just take the thing into the studio. Maybe I can do that when it's all done. It might be a reasonable thing if enough folks want to see a full tour of this, even though I will have shown everything. Thank you all not in advance, but in hindsight. Thank you in the past for the feedback that you gave me about these. Some people are calling them flying buttresses. These extended support beams here. As I mentioned last time when I asked for some feedback about it, I was leaning towards keeping these, but I wasn't sold on it completely. Seems like the overwhelming majority of respondents in the comments on that last update video like these, and a lot of people have suggested that I add another one to the end, possibly even extend this one here in the center. I really don't want to extend this one right here out to kind of start that shape. I really like, just from a structural perspective, being able to have all that weight just go straight down. I may have to adjust things just a little bit once I get the sound wall in there. And thank you for the suggestions about putting something over the top. I started to think about that after I did the video. Maybe putting something over the top of those just to provide a little bit of shade for the cars. And a lot of you have also suggested something similar, possibly even putting a garden out here or something. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to try to shade it a little bit, maybe with some netting or something to look not completely solid, or possibly it could be transparent or translucent. Might be ideal, so you can still see through there a little bit as as a human being, or as a viewer, even if you're not in person. Of course, viewers are human beings as well, but you know what I mean. Whether you're actually here or not. But yeah, that's definitely going to stay, and if anything, it'll be added too. Other than that, there's nothing else to see, so I won't extend this on any longer. Next, I'm going to be starting to work on the apartments in the middle floor, and hopefully those will go a little bit more quickly. There are 3 of them. Everything felt pretty impossible most of the time that I was working on this second apartment, just with the limited space, trying to get the same amount of stuff in there. I see now from this angle, I actually hadn't looked from this angle, that I want to hang something on the wall from in the bathroom, just in that corner, to help cover that up and make it a little bit more even. I also need to do some flooring work in the lobby area there, and there's one gap with the door out to the balcony. But other than that, it's just going to be more of the same, just on a smaller scale. Things will have to get definitely less realistic and less complete as I move down and work on the much smaller spaces. We'll see how that goes, but this is what I have to show for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for your feedback the last time around, and I'll talk to you again as soon as I can.